Well, hello, Coffee Time friends. How y'all doing? It's me, John and Mama, with Coffee Time with John and Momma. And let's talk about supper. Tonight is going to be some pinto beans, cornbread, and some fried potatoes. But we're not just going to simply fry potatoes. Normally, I just have them however Mama wants them. But the last time we fried them, some of y'all asked me about why we didn't put onions in them and how can we slice them and some stuff. And I said, well, the next time I will try to do some diced ones and put some onions in them and show you that. So since we normally just have regular fried ones, tonight we're going to have potatoes two ways. Now the pinto beans we already cooked yesterday, so we're just reheating those, but we've not eaten them yet, so they're not technically leftovers. They were just cooked and put in a bowl. So I've not had any good pinto beans.
I'm going to put oil in for my cornbread.
Well, Mama, say hello to the folks at least.
Hello.
I've talked to her about her manners. She's trying to do better.
I'm doing better.
So if you'll come down here to the chore board, I'm just going to show you this right quick. So this is just the rest of an onion that I had in the refrigerator. And I'm just simply quartering up or dicing up some onion.
You want?
Mama's putting the oil in over here.
You want that enough?
Oh, that's more than enough, Mama. I think that's enough for both of them. Yeah, it don't take much of the avocado oil, or any oil, really, for these. Because they're full of water, and that's going to go a long ways. So just about that much oil, just enough to really cover them. We're not deep frying them, we're just wanting them to brown them. And this is just avocado oil. We use it. Really, I hardly ever use olive oil anymore because avocado oil to me is tasteless, and I don't. Sometimes the olive oil, if you cook something in it, you can taste the olive oil. Sometimes I want that taste, but sometimes I don't. So I'm just going to dice up some onion right here, right quick. Not a lot, but Mama don't want any. Mama's going to slice her potatoes, kind of medium thickness, and I'm going to show you how to quarter these to get the same result as for frying. And mine will just be a little bit, don't let me knock that. Mine will kind of be like what I fix for breakfast potatoes. If I do breakfast potatoes, I like to dice them. And then when I'm doing fried potatoes, we usually slice them. But when I put onions in them, I dice them too, because then you have the onion flavor in there and it kind of goes in there with it. Mama's showing you.
I'm just working. You go ahead and talk.
You're frying yours?
Yeah.
Okay. See, she just starts on the end and just makes slices. And I'm going to show you how to just dice mine up. We're just working here today. We've worked all day today. We're having some work done here on the property, so we went up and talked to them, doing a great job. Having some forest land trimmed, not clear cut. This is just an old pine hill that my daddy had trimmed 10, 15 years ago, and now it just sort of had grown back up. So there's a local guy here who does an excellent job on trimming, and there's no brush pile, no nothing. It's all eat up. So we're having that done. So of course, anytime something like that's going on, you have to check it out. Just because it's something new. Ain't that funny? I don't care whose hill's getting cleared off. If I see it in the neighborhood, I want to say, boy, that looks good, don't it? It's like a new fence, ain't it, Mama?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of an inside joke with me and Mama. Somebody put up a new fence, and we both hadn't seen it. And I said, oh, Mama, they've slipped around here and put up a new fence. And that's not even paying any attention. So every once in a while, Mama said, we better go see if anybody's put up any fences. And it was a nice fence too. So that's just our little joke. So I'm just going to cut this one way. I cut it all this way. And then I'm going to turn it over, half turn there. Cut it this way.
Set on you.
What, Mom?
Set camera on you because I've moved.
Yeah. We know, Mama. We know you move out. And then I'm just going to turn it this way and slice it. And it's just going to make some nice little dices. I don't know how y'all dice it. Mama dices hers usually in her hand.
Yeah.
And I ain't that brave because I will fool around and cut myself. Did I cut myself the other night in front of everybody? I think I embarrassed Mama in front of her friends.
Not judge.
Did you judge me?
Judge.
Oh, no, that's right. You stabbed me in front of your friends. What have y'all been up to on this beautiful Saturday? And beautiful, not because it's been sunshiny, beautiful because we've had some rain. And it gives you a chance to catch up on the inside of stuff. You know, rain is good. Don't always look at a rainy day as a bad day. Because we got to have that rain too. A lot of people, they hate all rainy days. And I'm like, no, come on now. Let's like some of them.
We need the rain to survive.
And I like a good rainy day in the fall sometimes. Or summer, especially in the summer. Because it cools things off. Makes everything nice out there. Mama, if you don't care, will you heat this oil? I like to put, once I get my oil, I want it hot when I put my potatoes and onions in there. Because I want them to start frying immediately. Don't want them to set in oil. And I'm just, y'all don't know how to dice potatoes, so that's what I'm doing. Dicing them up real fine like.
Do you need another potato?
No, Mama. You won't eat none of these, so this medium and this small will be more than I'll eat. Probably this right here is enough. I don't know if I need all of him. Let me give her a couple of slices off this one. Because I don't even need all of him.
At the store today, the potato.
Here, you put these in your pot.
You might need them.
No, I don't, Mama.
I'll have a skillet full of these.
Well, I might eat one of yours too, because I like them plain too.
In the store today, 8-pound bag of potatoes was $7.99.
$7.99 for 8 pound, folks. Potatoes are outrageous. And our potatoes, they did good this year, but we just planted a few reds and a few of these just to have some new potatoes.
That's what you're cutting, you see.
These are the new potatoes. This is what few we had. We probably should have planted a 10-acre field full if they're going to be that high in the store.
I didn't know that.
We could have sold
We
them.
could have
Or give them to people that couldn't afford them high-priced
we could
potatoes.
have plowed up the farm and planted them.
Yeah.
We know it's going to be like this.
Yep. But who knew? They'll go back down, hopefully. Lord, hopefully. Let's all pray in that direction, folks.
That's my staple is potatoes.
So that's all I'm going to fix, but that's what they look like. Just diced up. They're not sliced flat. They're just diced. And I use these a lot of times for breakfast. And I will say, I don't know why, but I tend to put ketchup on these sometime, but I don't so much on the ones Mama's fixing. Ain't that weird? It's just the same potato. Just cut a little different. Now we've got the orange skillet, the bread skillet, the cornbread skillet in the oven. And he's got the oil. Let it heat up for about 10 minutes.
Yours in here now, and I said it.
Is it hot?
Well, I've had it on there.
Let's see if it's hot, Mama.
No.
Nope. I want him to go. Oh. Watching from Sandy Hook, Kentucky. Hey, Vicki, how are you? They're $8 for $8 for 5 pounds here. That is.
Well, this was $7.99.
That's high for potatoes, folks. I bought potatoes on sale today for $2.99 for 10 pounds. Now that's a normal price.
Where's that at?
Reba, where you at? You can set you up a potato truck on the side of the road here in Jellico. You can sell for $3.50 and make a profit. 10 pounds for $3 or $4 would be a good deal here.
Oh, 10 pounds.
Hey Tanya, I'm babysitting my 2.5-week-old granddaughter. Well, congratulations on that new granddaughter. So much fun. I bet that you are having fun today. Hey Drusilla, thanks for jumping on. Hey Linda, I love fried potatoes too. Sometimes that's just a staple. Sometimes a good fried potato is just what do you want to eat? I don't know. What do you want? It don't matter to me. Well, let's just fry some potatoes. Good for me. You hardly ever get me go, nah. Sometimes it just comes down to that plain old simple thing. Let's just eat something then. If you ain't really in the mood for something, I'm not in the mood for anything, let's just eat us a bite. Mama and I do that with fried potatoes. She'll say, let's just fry some potatoes. I said, it sounds good. Or sometimes I'm the one usually that says, what about just an egg sandwich? She'll say, okay, I can throw an egg sandwich together. So, some of those staples that you do just because. All right, Mama says it's ready.
Those are sizzling. So
yeah, those are good. So when I dump them in here, I want them to sing. Oh, they're singing now. They're singing for my supper. Put them potatoes in there, stir them around. See, they're just the little dices, and then throw my onion right in there with it. Just like that, folks. And that's it. Push that onion around. Put them back over on the stove, let them stay good and hot. They'll brown up really good all over. And they'll be so good.
I can already smell it.
Isn't them good, Mama? Been outside a little bit today. I got a little sun, and y'all know sun don't do me good. Just turns me bright red like a beet. Hello, John and Mama. I just made country... Roy, what did you make? Country steak? Country fried steak. Yes,
yeah,
I love that. Mashed potatoes. Mama's going to make some cornbread. Y'all know she waits on nobody. Mama, show them what you're up to.
I'm checking my egg like you do.
Mama, are you trying to say you were converted over to my way, not dirty a bowl?
I'm trying to not dirty as many dishes.
You notice she left y'all. She just started.
You gotta keep moving and doing stuff. I'm sorry. That's just the way life is.
Come on, Mama. Show us that cornbread. Show us that beautiful cornbread footage.
I put a cup and a half of cornmeal and a half a cup of flour and 1 egg so far. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake it up, baby. Oh, I don't own the rights to that song.
No, you better be careful.
Put about a half a cup.
Need more than that. I'm telling you already.
And another half. About a cup of buttermilk. Mama don't make quite as much cornbread as I make.
I don't like it left.
She likes it thin. I like it thick. Let me stir it and you get your pan. It's teamwork tonight, folks. Teamwork makes the dream work. Get all that dry off the bottom. Sometimes I make this in a clear glass so you can see, but I'm going to show you the consistency. So you want it like a thick pancake batter. Sometimes I do mine even a little thinner.
I might need to put a little bit more in that.
You taught me into it, Mama.
Too thick.
So a cup and a dab of buttermilk. You can add water. If the buttermilk's thick and you can't get any result from it, put your little water. It will rise, cornmeal will rise, but that's what I want right there. I want it to pour off the spoon. See how it will ribbon off? But I want it to pour right off. That's it. Now let's go over here. You want that oil good and hot, and listen to the music. You can't hear it tonight because Mama's frying over there. But you can see it bubbling there. Now I always give mine a little pat down a little. And that's it. Now folks, that'll be done in about 20-ish minutes in the Easy Bake because it's on convection. And it is already preheated. So in about 20 minutes, or until it's good and brown on top, it'll be done. And we're going to have those pinto beans, which we reheated. And normally we eat pinto beans on the same day we fix them, but we were really fixing those for a friend of ours because they love them so good, and we knew they was going to be here, and we wanted to have them ready for them. They had theirs last night, so you got yours fresh. They like biscuits with theirs, biscuit bread, so we didn't fill with biscuit bread and cornbread. And I told Mama, so we're eating leftovers and having pie tonight, so I don't have to have pinto beans tonight. But tomorrow, I want fried potatoes, pinto beans, and cornbread. So we're doing the whole thing tonight. Another thing that's awful good with pinto beans for us is curly leaf mustard, and that is mustard greens. And we eat that and we put a little vinegar on it after we cooked it in an iron skillet and put...
my blood thinner, I can't eat a lot of greens.
Yeah, and put... you take the mustard, you take a good hot skillet. We usually blanch ours down, boil it, and then let it drain good, and then freeze it. So, but if you want to take fresh mustard out of the store, you just get your good hot skillet, get you some onion, bacon grease in there. We don't put onions in there, so I just looked at that onion and it come out. And put your mustard, curly leaf mustard in there, stir it up, let it all wilt down, and it's so good. And then we eat it and we put a little vinegar on it. Isn't it good? Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, and some of you are thinking, what is he cooking mustard for?
You want a green onion, or you want one that purple or Vidalia?
I want a Vidalia with mine. Curly leaf mustard is the green. It's kind of like kale. You can do kale the same way, actually, but curly leaf mustard is a green. Turnip green, collard greens, you've heard of all those. Well, curly leaf mustard is in that family. It's a cousin to the whole bunch there, and it's so good. Now, that is a fall crop. People haven't even planted their mustard greens yet. And when you plant your mustard greens, you want to plant those in the fall. Probably right around now, people starting to plant it. And you want to plant turnips or radishes with it. Not turnips, radishes. And if you just plant radishes along, you can eat the radishes with it. If you pick them, it's fine, with the mustard. But the radishes will keep the bugs off, and it just makes a better crop of mustard greens. Most time around here, you'll have somebody in the neighborhood who does a good job.
Put salt and pepper on your potatoes too.
No, ma'am. No seasoning. You'll have somebody who has some. They'll say, bring you a bag and come over and get you some mustard. Mama's got plenty. And people say, well, I'll come over and get some. Because you don't want it to get too big, and usually there's plenty. We usually plant it most every year, and then we freeze it. Now, or sometimes every other year. Or we'll get some from somebody else, and they'll say, well, come over and get you some. And you get, it's like everything else green, though. If you get a whole Walmart bag full, shopping bag, a t-shirt plastic bag full, that'll about make you a mess for a couple of people because it cooks down. And we boil ours. We don't never cook it from green, do you, Mama?
What, fried from green? No.
I've never seen Mama fry it from green. We boil it. Maggie heard me talking to you all. We boil it and then freeze it, and then we have it in the freezer. And some people can it. You can it. It's hard to get it in the store in a can, though. It's not one of those things like tomatoes that you can really substitute store-bought for green. And you may have tasted it. Somebody may have fixed you some collard greens, mustard greens from the store, and you think, I don't like them. If you've not had them from the garden, don't judge them yet. Because I don't care for them in the store either. I will eat the Old Glory brand. We didn't get shot. This is some, I call it chow chow, but because I don't, Mama calls this squash relish, but she set it out of the refrigerator, and you know how it seals? Well, it got warm enough that it sealed a little bit, but you can seal it and unseal it, but you don't want to shelf it. Like if it seals back like that, you don't want to shelf it. You want to put it back in the refrigerator because it's not a good seal. It won't hold. And y'all seen us make that last year. We didn't have... Mama, did you plant crooked neck squash this year?
Yeah, I had a few, but I just planted one little hill, so I know that I wasn't going to make no more.
Mom and I have been discussing gardening. Now, that's the way you do when you have a garden. You gardeners out there know what I'm talking about. So, Mama proclaims this time of the year, every year, that she's not going to fool with it no more.
I'm not planting a big garden. I didn't plant one this year. Just
Mama, come here and say that to them. Tell them.
I didn't plant one this year. I just planted the 2 beds.
Okay, y'all heard her, so I'm going to replay this on this day. Sometimes she'll proclaim, now I'm not doing a big garden next year, and she'll have the biggest one ever. One year, she was going to cut back, and she ended up with 3 gardens. 3 garden spots. No, Mama, that's too much. One year, her and Dad decided they were going to move the garden. And if you live somewhere and you know about gardening, that's unusual. Most of the time, your garden spot's your garden spot from now on. So that year, they moved the garden to a location where Dad had some old wood, and the ground was real rich, and he had moved all that wood, and it was cleaned up. So Mama decided that'd be a good place to put the garden, and it did do okay. But it didn't grow some things the way she wanted it to grow, so she had him plow up the original garden spot. She said, go ahead and plow up my other garden too. Lo and behold, as they say, Mama decided she'd go rogue, and she took her little rotiller and she tilled up just 2 rows. It was about 12 or 15 feet wide and about 30 or 40 feet long. She made her another little garden where she put a few little things. I said, Mama, you got 3 gardens. 3. You was going to cut back. No, she had 3. Then the year that she did the raised bed, she said, I'm not fooling with the garden. This was the first year after Daddy passed, and maybe it's the first year I get too sick to plow. Anyway, she said, I just need a raised bed, just a good sized raised bed, and I'll just, I can work it up with my little tiller every year, because when you do a raised bed, it's different than doing it directly in the ground. And she said, I'll work it up every year, and that way I'll just use that raised bed. I said, where do you want it? She said, just put it right down there, about where I always put potatoes, which would be like dead center her old garden spot. So I had some fellas come over here, and they built her the prettiest raised bed you ever seen, with some old cross ties. Y'all seen it. There was some old cross ties, and it was about 4 foot wide, long. She could have all kinds of beans and potatoes and corn and lettuce and onions. She could have plenty in there. Lo and behold, as they say, she had them come over and plow up below it for the rest of the garden. So she had the raised bed plus a big patch below it plowed up. So that was her idea. So this year, she says next year, she's going to use raised bed only.
That's what I did this year.
She only used raised bed this year. I have to give her credit. But she's going to cut back a little bit, and we're going to try to put some fertilizer or something in that soil. It's got good soil in it. It just needs some enrichment. And hopefully we'll have a better tomato harvest next year. And I've decided...
I don't know about the center of that tomato.
I've decided I ain't going to take no chances on none of that. I'm going to do me some of the big 5-gallon bucket tomato plants. And I'm going to have at least 2 or 3 tomato plants just out in the front yard that I can use for to have a tomato harvest, even if I just have a few good red ones. You can get, depending on how you do it, you can get a good amount of tomatoes out of a 5-gallon bucket thing. Oh, let me tell you all this. So one year, Mom, it's weird. There's like the center, little center piece.
It started sprouting almost.
Yeah, there was like this couple little rings in the center. It was not the best. One year, we decided we were going to do Do y'all remember the year that the hanging tomato things come out and you planted your tomatoes upside down in the bottom? They sell bags for it and everything. You fill that bag full of this stuff. You plant your tomato upside down in the bottom, and it grew down and come up and wrapped around. And your tomato harvest was supposed to be so big. We done something wrong. Our little tomato plant, it grew down. And it grew down, and it switched, and it come back up around, and it come around, and we got about 8 tomatoes off the whole thing, and they was about this big. And I said, well, Mom, we ain't done that no more. That upside down tomato didn't work for us. And Daddy said, well, you should have known. You both been planting tomatoes your whole life, and if you ever planted one upside down? No. But then what makes you think this year you're going to plant your tomatoes upside down? I don't know. They said so on TV. I'm sure some of y'all are going to say, we had real good luck out of ours. I didn't say it didn't work. I just said me and Mama didn't have no luck from it. That was a bad time with it, Mama.
Yeah.
The upside down tomato. Then every once in a while, Daddy would say, y'all going to plant them tomatoes upside down this year? No.
He didn't let us forget when he made mistakes.
No, ma'am, he didn't. Which I'm kind of glad he didn't on that, because we probably deserved. That bag didn't work for us, folks. It may work for every one of y'all out there. But just know that there was 2 losers here in downtown Oswego who could not pull that one off. And I watered that thing.
He might have overwatered it. Might have been
I don't know what the problem was. All I know is upside down tomatoes didn't quite make the cut here. But they look good on the picture.
Here is yours.
Oh, folks, let's look at these potatoes. Now, this is the ones with the onion, and they were just cubed up. And look here. See how golden brown they are on the bottoms? They just need turned around. Now, that's what you like when you got them cubes. You just want them cubed up. They're kind of like restaurants call them a lot of time home fries for the breakfast menu. I think there's a restaurant or two that calls them that. But that is the home fry version. And you can smell that onion. You can't see it. It's gone clear and iridescent looking. But this is the chopped up version. So if you like them that way, you can make them bigger cubes. I've seen them like almost the size of a dice. And they're good. I just chop them up so they'll be good and brown. Mama's is probably the best way to do them. Just slice them, cut them low and slow, and they're.
I love them cut like that, but I don't want onions in them.
If Mama does eat them this way, she's okay with minced onions in them or dried onions in them. Same with potato cakes. Some of y'all out there probably used to love potato cakes, and now you can't eat them because of the onion. Or you leave it out and it don't taste as good. Mama tends to leave it out. I like it in there. But if you can use the dried onions in those, or onion salt or onion powder for a little flavor of the onion, and you don't have to have the onions that will upset your stomach or cause you any problems. Ain't that right, Mama?
Yeah.
And we're ready to eat, folks.
Except the bread. It's got the brown.
The bread is about 3-4 minutes out here. Mama's potatoes are low and slow over here.
It's getting a little brown on top, so it'll take.
Give it about 3 more minutes and it'll be ready to roll. Hello, John and Momma. Hello there, Shirley. How are you? I've got y'all a little farther away. Hope y'all have done something fun today. We've had a good day. We've had a busy day. Mama's got a few projects accomplished. Mama went to the farmer's market this morning. Wasn't many people there. They did have mums. and some stuff like that. We have some families.
Lots of pumpkins and lots of gourds.
The Smith family was down there, and
I just moved
you do every time, Mama. We expect it, don't we?
I'm sorry.
We don't care if she knocks that camera around. There wasn't as many people there at the farmers market today.
Oh, it was a misty rain, a falling, drizzly rain.
Yeah.
And they just wasn't hardly anybody.
It's rained here all day. Not hard, just as a friend of ours says, a dry drizzle. Meaning you don't really get wet, it's just drizzling rain.
Sometimes you got wet. It rained pretty hard at times.
Yeah, I had the window down at one point there talking to somebody, and they were standing in the rain, and I thought, well, if they can stand there, I can let my arm get wet. But it got a little wet.
What are you going to drink first?
I think ice water, Mama. Or a Sprite.
You want a Sprite?
Yeah, a Sprite will be good to this. These beans are still good and juicy. They're as good as they was last night. They'll probably even taste better. Look at that. Home cooked beans. These cook for about 6 hours on the stove top. Now beans depend on the kettle you use, of course, but once they start boiling good and you stir them quite often, you don't have to stand over top of them. You can let them slow simmer without them sticking if you stir them regularly, and by regular I mean probably 4 times an hour. Give them a good stir. Let all that mix up. Let them set 10 minutes or 15. And give them another stir. But you can let them slow cook all day, and they're so good. You can cook them in a pressure cooker. You can cook them in the Tupperware.
I hand it to you this way?
Tupperware pressure. Let me open them.
You're going to open them, but I wouldn't.
The Tupperware pressure cooker, or a regular pressure cooker. I still will have my coffee now. We ain't getting rid of the coffee. But you can slow cook them if you need to. You can cook them. Somebody was telling me in an Instapot. I don't have an Instapot. I have something before the Instapot. Never been used. We never did get into using it. I need to get out and try it. Wasn't called the Instapot. It was just called a pressure cooker back then. And it was the same kind of concept. I don't know. Is your potatoes done?
Yeah.
And but I have never tried them then. We always just cook them on the stove or in the crock pot. Now in the crock pot, you don't really have to worry about them. You can look your beans good, make sure there's no rocks, gravels, mud, clogs, half beans, dark beans. Put them in your crock pot. You can spray the bottom if you want to, or put your bacon grease in there and let it cover it. Put your dry beans in there, cover the water up above them about 2-3 inches, and put them on high and just let them cook, and they'll just take care of themselves. She did it again. Did you see?
I'm sorry. Did I
It's
move
all right,
it
Mom. We
again?
expected it. We expected
I didn't even know I done it that time.
and just leave them alone and let them cook, and they'll cook in 5-6 hours. And you can stir them as you think about it, but you don't have to really watch them like you do on a stove. Then we do them that way sometimes. It's like if we're going to start them before we go to church and we know they're not going to be done, sometimes I'll start them, if we're going to have them for Sunday lunch or something, I'll start them at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm making coffee, and they'll cook, and we'll just leave them in the crock pot. You can start them on the stove and then put them in the crock pot. There's 2 or 3 ways to get around it. It and their mama.
Oh, yeah. I gotta have that.
Some of y'all was asking about the salt shakers of Tupperware. While Mama's waiting, I'll go ahead and tell you.
And my bread ain't hot.
We don't have them in here. They're over on the table, I guess. But they come this time, and they're this color here. They're a teal. That looks like royal blue or ocean blue on there, but I call it more of a teal in a different light. I don't know how to get it in a different light. But they're a teal color, and you get the salt and pepper shaker and the butter dish. Now this butter dish will hold more than a stick of butter. It'll hold 2 side by side. And it might even hold one on top. I don't know. I ain't tried it that way. But it's a good butter dish in Tucson, and they're on sale this month, so check out the site for that. Because some of y'all tell me, be sure, John, if those salt and pepper sugars come on sale, to tell me. And I forgot the other night. Slipped my mind. So, that's perfect, Mama.
Okay.
Y'all look at it, tell her. It looks good.
Does it look all right to you?
Yeah, it looks
Here
good.
we go.
Flip her, Mama. Now look at that. That is perfect cornbread, folks. There's nothing in the world to do different to that. It's perfect golden brown. It flipped right out of that skillet. That's the reason you don't wash your cornbread skillet and you don't cook nothing else in it. Because you want your cornbread to look like that right there every time. Now, we used to have 2 or 3 cornbread skillets. We still do. Here's Mama's potatoes. Those are our version of the old Southern style.
You got a knife to cut the cornbread?
I don't. I do, yeah. And that's the old Southern style of potato.
Fried potatoes.
Fried potatoes, just fried.
Watch your onion spatula.
She picky. And here's the home style, just diced up. I told y'all I'd do that. And since Mama and I always just do them her way, I thought I'd just make a special effort tonight to do them this way to show you both ways. That's the reason we're having 2 types of potatoes. Most of the time we just settle on Mama's way, and that's fine with me. Because I love them that way too.
It's a little late to eat onions.
Yeah, have a seat, Mama.
Well, I was going to you'll fill up my plate for me, won't you?
I done got your beans out to cool.
I know it, you're a good fella.
And I'm going to
Get me a spoonful of potatoes.
get your potatoes for you.
You're sweet.
Did you get the ketchup?
No, see,
I'll
that's
get
enough
it.
for right now.
Okay, just hold it right there. I'll get the ketchup, and I'm going to
Get it,
cut
Mom.
this corn. I'll get it, Mama.
You cut cornbread.
I can't reach it. You'll hand it to me. Thank you. It was between her potatoes and the beans. Now, I'm just going to show you. We usually, just because we usually just cut about half of it, just like this. And just cut the pieces.
There you go, sir.
Do y'all keep your ketchup in the refrigerator, or do you keep it in the cabinet? You want butter on some of this, Mama?
No, not this late.
Well, if you are, you have to get it, because ain't no butter over here.
You want butter on for some of yours?
Yeah, I might. It ain't that late for me.
It's almost 7.
Still ain't that late. I had another one of those nights. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I did not drink a lot of coffee yesterday, nor did I drink it too late. I went to bed early, my usual time, 9:30. I went sound asleep. I woke up at 2:30. That's all she wrote. I was up at 5 o'clock, and I was up making coffee. So I've been up since 2:30 a.m., not p.m. So it's been a nice long day for me.
That made me start yawning and listening to you.
Well, you wasn't up. You was asleep, Mama.
I know it. I sleep. I don't fool around.
You slept during that time.
I have to get my food in here.
I actually was up at 4:30 making coffee, and by 5 o'clock I didn't drink a cup. I figured if I couldn't sleep, they're not done.
Yeah.
I figured if I couldn't sleep, I might as well get up and enjoy some coffee. Let's say our prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this meal. We thank you for the hands that prepared it. We thank you for the hands that grew it. Dear Lord, we just thank you for all of it. And we thank you for the nourishment of our bodies. And we just thank you for loving us, dear Lord. And thank you for sending Jesus Christ to die on that cross for our sins. Lead and guide and direct us, dear Lord, and be with all the prayer requests that are out there, all those spoken and unspoken. Pray for the healing and pray for the needs. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Have we got everything we got coming to us, Mama?
I reckon just potatoes and cornbread and beans. We're eating poor folks' way.
This is the rich man's food. This is rich man's food. Because if you got somebody who can cook some good beans and some good cornbread and some good potatoes, that's awful rich in my book. Those beans are outstanding.
They are.
They are delicious. Pinto beans. Pinto beans.
I don't like these kind because they turned out awful dark. They're dark like to start with.
They're good though. Ain't a thing wrong with them. It just took them a minute to get soft. Like I said, I eat ketchup with these with onion. With the ones Mama makes, I don't normally have to have ketchup. I don't know why that is. Same with breakfast.
I thought I dropped some on me, but I must not have.
The home fries, or the home fried potatoes, are delicious. They've got that little onion hint in it. It's not overpowering. It is wonderful. How's your potatoes, Mama?
They're good.
All right. Here's some onion. Now this is what you have to have for a complete pinto bean dinner. This is the rules. I can't help it. I didn't make them. This is just what they are, folks. You have to have beans. You don't have to have potatoes. But you have to have some good onion. And you need some good relish. If you don't have the relish, you can get by with a good cornbread.
Here, I need some relish, please.
Yes, ma'am. With the good cornbread and the good beans and the onion. You can't get by with that. So I'm going to put my onion, dip on my relish a little bit, put me just a little bit of cornbread in there. Now, I'm not the one that will put cornbread all in there and mix it up. Now, some people like it that way.
That relish sets it off.
That's the perfect bite. The relish, a little bit of cornbread, and a little bit of onion. That onion's good when I took that bad spot out of it.
I don't know how come it's that way. It might have been starting to spray out or something.
I don't know. Just it was the two middle rings.
Well, that's where it starts sprouting out, right in the center. I got you a napkin right there.
I like the cornbread on. Folks, you can't beat that for a good southern supper. Let's see what y'all are up to. Where are your mustard greens? Well, that's a good question. Now that, Miss Betty Bostic, that's a good question. Mustard greens are a definite good addition, and I love them better than anybody else probably. I'm one of those weird people who loves to smell them cooking, and there's a bunch of people that don't.
I don't. Your daddy didn't.
I do. I love when Mama's making greens. She usually waits for me to do those because she'll say, "You can take it. I'm getting out of here." Because I love to smell them cook them, and I love them. I could eat mustard greens all the time, but we don't have them tonight.
We can't fix any last year either.
And we don't always have fried potatoes with our pinto beans either.
A lot of times it's just cornbread and beans makes a meal.
Cornbread, beans, onions, and a little bit of relish. That makes the meal. That's the complete ensemble right there. Isn't it, Mama?
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. We're going to say good night. Thank you for being with us. Here's two different kinds of fried potatoes you can try. Some of you already make them both ways and know your favorite. And Mama's cornbread again. And this is, oh, Mama, squash relish. And it's got some red pepper squash. Mama, finish it up. Onion.
It's got 8 cups of squash and I think 2 cups of peppers, red or green or whatever color you got. And 3 or 4 cups, I believe, of onions or something.
And some vinegar.
Vinegar and sugar and spices. Mustard seed and celery seed.
Mustard seed and celery seed. And it's delicious. We did make it on here. Go back and look for squash relish.
Or squash pickles.
Or squash pickles. Just put squash coffee time with John and Momma, and this is probably what will pop up. We did can it. And this is some we canned last year.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's good, y'all. Find you some, get you some, try you some. You can buy some in the stores that's similar, but Mama's is best. And this is supper tonight, and I don't know what we'll have tomorrow. Join us in the morning if you get a chance for Sunday School highlights. Be between 9.
We might just have a bologna sandwich tomorrow.
We might just eat a bologna sandwich tomorrow. We ain't too picky. So, and that's a good Southern Sunday lunch if I ever heard one. A good homegrown tomato and a bologna sandwich.
I don't know what. I ain't even thought of nothing.
That's usually when she comes up with her best work, when she don't think about it. Sometimes we'll go to bed and she'll say, "Now we ain't gonna cook tomorrow. I'm just gonna keep it simple." I wake up and smell roast. Because she's decided in the middle of the night she wants roast.
It's according to what hits me in the middle of the night, what I'm wanting.
What was it we was talking about the other night? And both of us wanted the same thing, or was it today?
What was it? I can't remember.
I don't know. We do that all the time. Folks, we're going to say good night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for putting up with us. Enjoy your rest of the day. It's 6:50 on a Saturday night. It's still young. There's still time to build a fire pit and sit around talking. The temperature's not too bad now. Looks like it's 71 here. It may be 71. It could be 77. Something. It's 7 something. Anyway, there's time to enjoy and make some memories even tonight. And have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy yourselves.
Yes.
Wake up in the morning refreshed, renewed, and ready to start a new day. Say good night, Mama.
Good night, Mama. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.